Cricket Wireless presents The Warmup, and thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Ashley Bullington. We have a great show for you this week, jam-packed with all the Texas high school football content you could ever want. It's week 10, and we have a lot to cover, so let's get you warmed up. Only 2 weeks left in the regular season. 2021 has flown by, and these next few weeks are vital to some teams as playoff races are coming down to the wire and district titles are on the line. I'm excited to see what happens over the next 10 days of Texas high school football. We have some great games coming up this week on Inside High School Sports, and here are a few of the biggest you'll be seeing highlights of on our show and the lineup presented by So Chilled Chips and Salsa. We have two undefeated for our Whataburger game of the week as Ennis and Royse City go head-to-head with the district title on the line in 8-5A Division II. We should expect one of the most thrilling games in the Metroplex to be this one. In District 8-5A, there were 3 teams tied up top with an undefeated district record. That was until Ennis defeated Forney, but that wasn't enough to give them the district title or take Forney out of the race. Against Forney, Ennis quarterback Jackson Gilkey threw for 176 yards and 3 touchdowns. D. Johnson ran for 114 yards and a touchdown, and freshman Grayson Harris added 101 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns by halftime. They have scored 328 total points this season and are averaging 41 points per game. The Lions' defense is also dominating as they have allowed an average of 18 points against them per game. Royse City had a game against Crandall last week. They finished with 729 total yards of offense, with Kenneth Spring passing for 314 yards and Sam Mitchum rushing for 196 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jonah Robertson also had a night as he had 10 receptions for 255 yards and 4 touchdowns. This game will make or break the season for both of these squads. Royse City is averaging 42 points per game, but allowing a little more against them than the Ennis squad. Who takes this title? Another matchup with title implications on the line is Arlington Martin versus Grand Prairie at the Gopher Bowl Friday night. Martin is 4-0 in district and Grand Prairie is 5-0. Whoever takes this win will be the District 8 6A champion. The matchup will mark Grand Prairie's regular season finale, while Martin will still have one more game left on its schedule. If Martin wins, the Warriors will have sole possession of first place and vice versa. Grand Prairie narrowly held off a Bowie comeback last week in a 42-40 win to remain undefeated. Grand Prairie has made the playoffs once over the last decade. That was in 2017. The Gophers have won as many games this season as the previous years since then combined. Martin and Grand Prairie didn't get to play each other last season because the game was forfeited, so they've really only seen each other play on film. So in this battle of 2 unbeaten teams, the game will come down to who can make the least mistakes. Cricket Wireless presents The Warmup. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Warm up your game day with the authentic flavors of ancient cooking. So thin, so crisp, so good, so chill.
We have some great games coming up this weekend on Inside High School Sports Saturday night at 5 p.m. on ABC5. Now it's time for a battle as we bring on some great athletes you'll be seeing lining up on the gridiron this week, but they line up here on our show in the battle. Okay, guys, this week on the battle, we have 2 great athletes from Northside on with us. Guys, introduce yourselves.
All right. I'm Michael Alvarado. I play running back at Northside High School, and I also play fullback as well.
I'm Brandon Forrest. I'm also a running back at Northside High School. And the fun fact about me is I'm a better running back than my head coach Turner.
What sport is described as the beautiful game?
Basketball. Beautiful game.
Volleyball.
Come on. Go, go.
Soccer.
Soccer.
I got
Soccer.
it. Oh, yeah, baby. Come on. Soccer.
Okay. What is the only sport to be played on the moon?
There was a sport played on the moon? Golf.
Yeah.
Golf. And which sports do teams compete to win the Stanley Cup? What
Isn't that NASCAR? Isn't that NASCAR?
It's not
That's not
NASCAR.
NASCAR?
Stanley Cup. Is it hockey?
Hockey. What is it called when a bowler gets 3 strikes in a row?
Yeah, Thanksgiving. It's
Turkey.
called a
Turkey.
It's called a turkey.
Turkey. Yeah,
Called a
turkey.
turkey. Team was originally called the New York Titans.
New York. What team was originally called the New York Titans? New York Jets.
It is the New York Jets. Now, do you have any words for us, Brandon?
It was nice for y'all to have me here. And if any of y'all want to come challenge me, I'm the question king. So I have the crown.
I've got some people that think that they're the battle kings. I might have to bring y'all all on for a big challenge. But guys, thank you so much for joining us here on The Battle. We will have highlights from the Northside versus Creekview game this week on Inside High School Sports on Saturday on NBC5. If anybody wants to mock me up a battle trophy, let me know. I'd like to virtually award these guys something, but obviously keep the trophy with me. Inside High School Sports cannot make it to every game going on in the area, even though we wish we could. But we will help hype them up. Let's check out some of the games to keep an eye on in the hype. The Brewer Bears and the Justin Northwest Texans will be going at it with the title on the line this week. Brewer out-muscled Azle last week to stay perfect in district. Was there any better way for the Bears to celebrate head coach Todd Peterman's birthday than that? Definitely not. With this win, Brewer should be considered the number 4 team in the 5A area rankings. When Brewer wins, they average 42 points a game. Now, their opponent, Justin Northwest, is 6-2 on the season. They have scored 342 total points this season and are also averaging 42 points per game. And their defense has only allowed 139 points this season and an average of 17 points per game. The Texans defeated Grand Prairie last week 66-14 and are now at 5-0 in district. This game should definitely be one to keep an eye on. Nolan and Parish Episcopal go head-to-head in TAPS this week as well. The Fort Worth Nolan football team will have to forfeit 3 wins, including 2 district victories, after playing 5 players before they had their transfer forms approved by TAPS. Nolan had submitted paperwork for the 5 transfers weeks earlier, and the 5th student was formally declared to be eligible October 5th. So what should be the district title game, even with a win, might not fall in Nolan's favor. Parish Episcopal is 5-0 in district. They are averaging 40 points per game and have only allowed 127 points against them all season. They are clicking on all cylinders, but Nolan is a tough team, even with them having to forfeit some of their previous wins. Cricket Wireless presents the Warmup. Smile, you're on Cricket. Time to see what's been trending on social media around the Inside High School Sports world in our segment, The Buzz. The Houston Astros have made it to the World Series, and I know you're saying, Ashley, that's Houston. But Marcus product Ryan Presley gave us a post-game speech that'll bring you all the feels.
Growing up in Flower Mound, Texas, Ryan, how many times in the backyard did you dream of throwing a pitch like that got your team to the World Series?
Well, I didn't necessarily throw a pitch. I was always hitting, but once I got to high school, I couldn't hit anymore, so. But throwing that last pitch right there, I mean, it's euphoric. You can't explain it.
The Birdville Hawks basketball team took to their feeder schools earlier this week as they started off by getting kids at elementary schools ready to go to class with high fives and smiles, then went to the middle school to play some hoops with the next generation of Hawks. That's all we have for this week's episode. To stay up to date with everything going on in the high school sports scene, follow our social accounts. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube that'll get you ready for the best 30 minutes of the sports weekend. Inside High School Sports, Saturday at 5 p.m. on NBC5, hosted by Pat Doney. Thank you so much for watching the Cricket Wireless warm-up. I am Ashley Willington, and I hope you are warmed up for all of the Texas high school football action we've got coming at you this weekend.